And you know why? Because this is a long-range goal. I do this for good reason. Not only to be that person that I can be proud of when I go to sleep at night. That, the kind of person that I would want near me, by me, in my group of friends, in my family. Someone that I could actually, count on. Somebody that I don't have to worry about ulterior motives. In addition to all of that, it's a long-range goal. And I'll explain more in a moment. On the other side, you have the short range. I will get my entertainment at the expense of others. I will use a lack of ethics to try to get ahead versus others. So I will exploit someone else's honesty, someone else's weakness to my advantage. That crowd, ranging from, mildly bad to you're a horrible fucking person, please off yourself, and better humanity. And yes, that's harsh, excuse me. Darwinism still rules here, though. If you don't believe me, look at the Darwin Awards. This is a short-term goal. All of these things. Short-term pleasure, short-term advantage, short-term exploitation, short-term all of it. Now, just as in all life, what do you get when you have a short-term and a long-term goal? Long-term ends up here. Short-term ends up down here over the long run, which is significant in that, yes, end of the day, you might be ahead of me. You might have destroyed me. You might have decimated me. You might have hurt my reputation. You might have exploited me, cost me money, etc. and so forth. End of the year, you're still down here. I'll still be up here. Because here's what happens with short-term goals. Short-term goals backfire. Short-term goals forget to account for a lot of things. Short-term goals show everyone else who you are eventually. You might hurt my reputation now, but a year from now, consistent actions by me, staying true to my word, will build that reputation beyond your ability to touch. You can make someone doubt me for a short amount of time, but as long as I do not give in, I will prevail. And I will be seen as exactly what I've been doing. This goes double for you. All the actions that you've been doing, you can hide for the short term. You can keep in the shadows. You can conceal, you can lie about, you can maim, you can twist, you can etc. and so forth. But in the long term, they become apparent. In the long term, the backfires add up. In the long term, if you've been lucky enough to avoid backfiring, or skilled enough to avoid it, when you do backfire, it'll be all the worse. So, in this controversy, I'm afraid I have to hold myself an example here. I was the lone person of the board who wasn't maimed, who didn't come out of this a hypocritical ass, who didn't lose face and reputation for it, and show everyone else that perhaps they're not as trustworthy as they seemed. Instead, the very people who had questioned me before gave me a respect, and for that, I'm very thankful. That's not the reason I do these things, but you know what? At the end of the day, after putting in this effort day after day, it helps. Knowing that someone else appreciates the effort that you put in. And that's what I want to say. You've got your short-term interest, you've got your long-term interest. You've got your selfishness, you've got your selflessness. In the end, you only hurt yourself when you practice low morality, when you practice short-term goals, when you practice, holding yourself above others. And You seal your own fate and your own doom. While I continually progress, because all of the people who I haven't ripped off, all the people that I've helped instead, and been fair to and honest to, will over time come to support me and defend me, not because I am perhaps their friend, not because I am perhaps advantageous to them, but because it's true. And while people can hurt my reputation in the short term, in the end, I suppose you could say I get some of the respect that I deserve. And I know that sounds a little bit arrogant, but I've been on YouTube for 5 or 6 months. And this is the first situation where truly people have been able to see from my actions, not just my words, that I mean what I stand for. And I stand for what I mean. And I try to be fair and honest and honorable. And you hear that? 5 to 6 months. It took 5 to 6 months for that. That means 5 to 6 months of being insulted, told that I'm biased, going through discussions, having various discussions with other furries, trying to help everyone out, you know, getting continuously told that I'm stupid and that I'm going to be defenseless and such and so forth. 5 to 6 months of all of that. And yet, at the end of all this time, you have the results. They've destroyed themselves. Utterly defeated themselves with their own hypocrisy. Their own blasted short-term goals that did them in. And I've gained a measure of respect, which I'm grateful for, and do not want to take for granted. And I will try to continue to be fair and honest and honorable to the best of my abilities, and if I so happen to stray from this path, I encourage people to call me out for it. I am no more perfect than anyone else, and am quite capable of straying from my own path. So, to YouTube, all of YouTube that watches this video, though there probably won't be that many, especially with how long it is, I urge you to learn from this. Please. Don't make yourself have to repeat the same mistake to learn, and don't make the same mistake anyways. It hurts everyone, and it doesn't help anyone.